So I definitely believe that there are certain technologies that are not supposed to be scaled to the masses. The first one being the smartphone and the second one being social media. But because all we care about is that cultish startup, like hyper growth and this fetishization of the successful American dream, so we can at least use a giant success story to cover up all the American dream failures. Forgive me, the American nightmares that are actively occurring right now. Now, this is something that I have brought up before in my No Land for Good Men series. Shameless plug, go check that out on my YouTube. But this, the next age, like the next selling point for these AI companies and for these large language models or whatever they're calling them, is almost like eternal convenience. Because think about what they were selling us with these smartphones and with these social media platforms. You guys are going to be so much more connected, so much more in tune, in the now, in the know, so much, society will be so much more globalized. No. Everybody has ADHD. Everybody's lonely. And while they were putting the candy, which I'll say both of those two things, the software and the hardware I just described, while they threw that candy in front of our face to play around with, they eradicated damn near all of our third spaces that we could have had access to, or we had free or low cost access to in the real world, for their real estate projects, to where they would also fuck us for housing, because now none of us can pay for that either. So these billionaires can't just outright tell us, we're trying to become trillionaires off this AI shit, and not only trillionaires, but we are trying to own America off of this. In tandem, I hope I'm using that right, in tandem with this Project 2025 stuff, which will just be the spiritual nature behind our ownership of this country and the future American monarchy, oligarchy, whatever you want to call it, based on money. Now, whether you want to call it AI agents, AI assistants, or even AI girlfriends, because it seems like everyone's more afraid of AI girlfriends than like any of those other things I just mentioned. But the way that human beings have been so individualized in their own real worlds, like think about how we have our own For You pages. Think about how we are sitting with our own accounts and our own networks independent of a community, but we're convinced that everybody else has an iPhone, so you're in a community. Everybody else has an Instagram account. Everybody else has a Facebook account, so you're in a community. But just like I describe on my YouTube as well, this is a cult of identity. We are all carrying the identity of having something, of being somewhere, but we aren't humbling that individual identity enough to engage in a community. We are all still looking for validation in this identity, existing in this space with these people, which makes it a cult of identity. In a community, we know who we are, we know what we provide, and we know what value we're looking to share with this community. We're able to humble ourselves enough to realize, hey, you know what? I can't be everything. I can't be the salvation of this community alone. I have to be fully willing to be a part of this to make sure that we collectively meet the goal of the community, the needs of the community, and then my needs will be met on the back end of that. But the social media fame and the ability to develop careers on these phones, as great as it has been for the average person, the creator world and economy has developed this almost like self-induced sense of narcissism. And I don't know if it's the likes or the followers, or just the one-to-one validation that we think internet fame is to real life fame and like status. So many people have become narcissists and have fallen into of genuinely believing that they're somebody that they're not, and it's literally of free access. It's like a gas station dick pill. I hate to even bring that reference in here, but it's just like it's like, you see the ingredients in that, and you know, like, what it's even for. You're like, why the fuck would you take that, bro? It's just like free access to destroy yourself. And it's not only the narcissism that's an issue. It's also the people who feel like they aren't creators on these platforms. They feel like because they aren't getting the same validation as these people are on these platforms, they aren't whatever identity they actually are. They aren't an artist. They aren't a singer, a rock star, a skater, they aren't who they are because they aren't getting the same validation and clicks and views as these other people. So for a community and a society of people who were already going through so much and struggling and suffering through so much to gain access to validation through their identity or who they are in society, now they have to try to do the same exact thing and compete against other people to gain access for their identity in this digital reality that's not real, but we collectively have decided to act like is real. And now it's just adding more pressure onto existing, which we've all been doing so much to like get away from. So, but before I get too lost and turn this into the podcast episode, it's the next phase of this convenience that is being sold to the masses to validate integrating artificial intelligence at the rate and at the pace that we're doing it at. Is saying that it can basically be our personal slave. That's the only way I hear it in my head with my black and white autistic brain. I don't know if you guys hear it as like an assistant, but all I hear is slave, 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 democratize slavery, slavery, buy a slave for yourself. But in a reality where we have basically created a hyper-intelligent, personalized slave that can almost do everything for you that you would naturally, like in a real world, you would have to go out and develop relationships for, and you'd have to ask for help for, and you'd have to actually wait and be patient for people to trust you and to help you and to support you and to love you even. Like, you actually had to be willing to sacrifice something to be in relationship and to actually engage with your own humanity. But we're trying to convenience people out of that, out of the natural just suffering that is trying to exist with other people you don't know, other people you're different than, other people you're afraid of, other people that you feel like you're more than. Like, it's just that's part of the human journey. And we're trying to convenience humans out of that in a state where so many human beings already feel like they're suffering enough just to exist. But it's not because life is hard. It's because rich people are hoarding all the wealth from the society that we could be using to accommodate ourselves and enjoy life before sending ourselves into this eternal collective psychosis into AI accommodation reality, which is just going to mean, hey, how many humans can we remove from executive level society so as few people as possible can own as much as fucking possible of this society? And then their ownership can not only be in their own like hand and by what they own, but by the AI models that they own, which will be entire ecosystems of machinery that can be used to exact their will on a bunch of people who don't have jobs, don't have resources, don't have a government to support them because that already got fucked, and don't have a future to believe in, because now we are going full force into the reality that has been bought and is now owned by these tech oligarchs that could care fucking less about the future of America, because they could just get up and move to Europe or get up and move to their colony in Africa if they wanted to, if America crashes and burns. But the rest of us, we're enslaved to this. Whatever happens to the future of America, we are enslaved to this. And that's why I keep on trying to speak to regular people about this shit, because it's like, bro, like, we're getting fucked every day, man. So hopefully you spent Valentine's fucking somebody that you actually wanted to be fucking or getting fucked by, because this society has so much more for us. Like, you know, get on the podcast, get on the vlog, get on all my other shit, bro, because I'm just going to yap until I can't anymore.